Champions rise above the doubt, noise, and storm. Only a select few can handle it.
Look at me now!
The blinding spotlight, the weight of expectation. Now, with the nation watching, the pressure is real, and pressure makes diamonds.
Welcome to Fight Week on TNT Sports. We are in the nation's capital, London the destination, for another epic card of fighting in the UFC. I'm Adam Catterall, pleasure as always to be in your company. And the boys are back in town. The one and only Franz Beckenbauer lookalike himself, Mr. Nick Peet, and the Hall of Famer, Mr. Michael Bisping. Good to be back on British soil, bud.
Very good. Every time I land back at London, I walk in, I get a sense of pride. Then I walk outside, and it's normally pouring down with rain, so that the enthusiasm wanes. But I tell you what, the weather's beautiful. We've got a great fight card, and you looking like you're about to go off to the gym.
That's it. He's ready for a bit of Run DMC later on. We'll get stuck into that. As a fight card, though, Nick, we've done many of these over the years. This one stacked from top to bottom with elite British and Irish talent as well.
There's so many great fights on here. We're going to get stuck into them over the next couple of hours, obviously, as we see the weigh-ins. But, you know, we've got England versus Scotland. We've got England versus Ireland. We've got Leon, the former champion in main event, looking for salvation in his own quest to win the belt back. We've got a little bit of everything. It's going to be unreal.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a treat and run you down everything that is going to be taking place on Saturday night on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. As Nick just said there, the main event, Leon Edwards taking on Sean Brady. Big contenders fight in the welterweight division. That co-main event, oh my days, that is going to end violently, innit? Jan Blachowicz taking on Carlos Ulberg. And stacked from top to bottom, we're going to go through some of those fights in a moment and get you excited for maybe some of our picks for bonuses. That's all getting underway from 8. That is your main card. Then we have the late prelims. Check this out, because from 6 o'clock on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus, we've got that. All eyes on that big heavyweight contest between Marcin Tybura and Mick Parkin. And Lonnie Kavanagh making his UK UFC debut as well. And then check this out. Yes, we ain't finished. At 5, we're going to give you the early prelims. Because it's a special one, we don't want you to miss any moment of this. A lot of people talking about that fight, the Battle of Liverpool it's being dubbed as, between Nathan Fletcher and Keelan Laughlin. It's going to be a cracker. 5 p.m, early prelims. This show gets going. Shall we start with the main event?
Let's do it.
Let's get in there, mate, because obviously last time we saw Leon Edwards in competition, it was defending his crown in Manchester. It didn't go his way. It was a flat performance. He lost out to Bilal. As Nick said a moment or two ago, this is a night for redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. Leon Edwards coming into this one, he's very fired up. In fact, talking about that fight with Bilal, he doesn't really feel like he lost too much. He doesn't feel like he necessarily was beaten up, and he's annoyed. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to prove to the world that he's still one of the best welterweights on the planet. And that he undoubtedly is. I mean, look at that there. That was the second fight with Kamaru. Drops him. Beautiful striking as always. We know, boom, there it is. The headshot dead. That's when he became the champ. And then he went off to defend the belt 2 times. Beautiful striking. Excellent takedown defense. But in Manchester last year, Bilal Muhammad was the better man on the night. Used the wrestling to great effect, took him down, controlled him quite a lot, and just won a decision. Now, however, he lost the fight. Now he wants to come back, and he's going up against this guy, Sean Brady, who in many ways is just another version of Bilal Muhammad. Of course, he's been in there with Bilal. He did lose to Bilal. That's the only loss on his record, but he's got world-class, supreme jiu-jitsu. You see one of the submissions there. He is absolutely obsessed when it comes to being an athlete. He is as good as it gets. His heart rate is super low, like 32 BPM. His VO2 max is through the roof. The submission ability is fantastic, and he's very fit up and confident coming into this one. For Leon Edwards, it's a tricky one because the fight that he's had against Bilal Muhammad, it's almost the exact same carbon copy matchup. So you never know. It could be a difficult one.
And it is a change of opponent because the most of this camp, Leon was preparing for Jack Della Maddalena. Obviously, everything got reshuffled a few weeks ago. Sean gets the call a couple of days after becoming a father. Yeah. He's got new inspiration, new motivations coming into this fight, and his activity levels over the last couple of years have been down. Maybe he's been overlooked. He's not been getting the opportunities himself. He's going to be coming in here on Saturday night, fired up, knowing he's fighting a former champion with a big opportunity.
But he's a former champion who's still ranked the #1 in the division. So if you're Sean Brady, you think there's no better way to get a title opportunity, or at least push for one, than defeating the former champion. The guys take his ranking, take his #1 spot, and he absolutely gets the ability to do that. He has been inactive, only one fight a year over the last 2 years, but if you look into that, it's because Sean's had niggling injuries. And when you fight the way Sean Brady does, you're going to be open to injuries. The problem is, Leon was also open to injuries last summer. I think going into that fight with Bilal Muhammad, he just didn't look like the same Leon Edwards. He looked like he was moving in treacle in the first round. Bilal posts him up against the fence. You think, what the hell's going on here? No one does that to Leon Edwards. Certainly don't do it in the first round. So I think Mike's right. I think Leon looks at that fight and thinks, that was me on my worst night. And I lost my title, but you know what? The title may have gone, but so's the pressure. Everything's off his shoulders now. Unbeaten for 10 years. Can he be the next GSP? Can he do this? Can he do that? Well, that's it. No one's talking about that no more. All people are talking about is Leon Edwards still relevant in the welterweight division? He's got to prove it on Saturday.
What have you made of his demeanour this week?
Fantastic. I was so happy when we seen him on Tuesday because we were lucky. The three of us spoke to Sean last week. We know where he's at. He's like bouncing off the walls. He can't believe the opportunities come late notice. Mike knows better than anyone what late notice can do. Just makes you get tunnel vision. I'm going to take this opportunity with both hands, and that's where Sean's at. When we seen Leon on Tuesday, the comparison between him this week and what he was like in Manchester is absolutely polarising. This is Leon with a smile on his face. He looks happy. He looks lean. He just looks like, you know what? I'm here to do it for me. Whereas in Manchester, it was like, oh, can I keep undefeated? Can I keep... Nah, man. This is fight game. Just go out there and enjoy it, Mike, innit?
Yeah, being the champion of the world, obviously it's great, and you've achieved all your goals, you're making money, and you've reached the top of the mountain, but it does come with a lot of pressure. Sean Brady was talking to us, and he said when he lost to Bilal Muhammad, he felt such a relief of pressure because he'd lost that undefeated record. Well, guess what? You're defending an undefeated record. Leon was defending the championship of the world. As I say, that does bring a lot of pressure. It does slow you down. It does give you more to think about, and you overthink every little situation and bit of contact inside the octagon. So Leon's lost all that now. Now it's just about trying to get his pride back, trying to show that he's still got it. And I don't think he's slowed down. He isn't past his prime. He isn't coming down the other side of the hill. He just went up against Bilal Muhammad at 5 o'clock in the morning and got out-wrestled. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. So now he's back. He's got to be more aggressive. I'd like to see Leon come out. He needs higher volume. He's got to go forward, push the pace, do some damage to Sean Brady, make Sean Brady doubt himself and not want to even engage in a takedown threat. So that's what Leon's got to do. Will he do it? I think so. Everything that he's telling us this week, mentally, he seems to be in the right place.
Sean Brady, though, is a Philadelphia native, mate. They make him tough there, don't they? And he's a very likeable character. I mean, around the hotel this week, he's been very, very amenable. We've interviewed him a couple of times, and you kind of do feel for him, you know, with the opportunity now coming his way. He's going to be coming all guns blazing on Saturday night.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, this is a massive opportunity. You said, is Leon Edwards still relevant in the division? Rhetorical question, I know. The answer is, of course he is. I mean, he was just the champion, and he was the longest-running champ that we've had for a while because the title was changing hands for a while. Beat Kamaru Usman, one of the best to ever do it. And so for Sean Brady, this is a massive opportunity. And yeah, short notice, great, whatever, big deal. He's a young guy. He's absolutely obsessed with training. This is his lifestyle. It's all he thinks about. Sometimes that can be a detriment as well. Sometimes you can want it too much, but still, in terms of being disciplined and being at the gym, this guy is as disciplined as they come. So cardio won't be an issue. Stylistically, he's got a problematic style. Athletically, mentally, it's all there. You know, and he trains with great people as well. He's got a lot of good mentors around him. So he's coming into this one fired up.
I've got something to show you, gentlemen, because I know that we're going to have our own opinions on the fight and the fights that are on this card, but check this out. We put a poll on our social media to get people's opinion on how they believe that this fight is going to play out, and that is obviously people that are on the TNT Sports UFC X channel, and it's come up with 75.2% of those fans believing that Leon Edwards will get the job done. Now that implies to me, when I look at that a lot of people do believe that this is a one-sided fight. It is far from that, isn't it? Far from that. 75-25 I think is unfair. Maybe it's a 55-45 in Leon's favour because he's been at championship and main event level, but it's a lot tighter than that.
Yeah, let's be honest. The majority of people voting on that, they're English. You know, exactly. Leon Edwards.
I didn't want to say that, but you know.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
And listen, Leon's had the better career. He's defended the belt a number of times. He's been in the spotlight. He's been main events much longer. Sean Brady, even though he's been around a long time and he's got a great record, I think he's only had one main event. That was against Gilbert Burns. It was a really good performance. Yeah. He went out there and out-grappled the grappling specialist. So a lot of people might be sleeping on him. It is closer than that, but of course, Leon, he's a fan favourite. People love him, so they're going to support him.
Regarding the performance of Leon on Saturday night, do you just want to see more output from him?
Absolutely. Mike hit the nail on the head, and that's something that we've been critical of Leon over the years. You know, he's just taking his time. He's so patient. he's so Jamaican that he'll do it on Leon time, when sometimes he just needs that little bit more agency. Obviously, I was out in Salt Lake City, and that moment will go down in UK MMA history forever. But don't forget, that was a fight that he was losing, and he was losing it convincingly until he pulled off one of the greatest knockouts in UFC history in the final round. So he just needs to be that little bit more aggressive. These fans want him to be aggressive. The O2 will be absolutely bouncing. There's not a fan in there that doesn't want Leon Edwards to get back on top. But to get back on top, not only does he need to win, he needs to look good winning as well.
Yeah. Just a reminder, main event is obviously the cherry on top of the cake, with that main card getting going from 8 on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. We've got the prelims going from 6, with the early prelims at 5. You can hear the dulcet tones of John Gooden just behind me. He's welcoming, bringing people to the scales, and we're going to start with Leon Edwards. Let's get to it, shall we? Like I said, Nick's kind of highlighted this throughout the whole course of the week.
Business.
He's looked good, he's felt good, he's been speaking good all week.
Yeah.
First up, job done. Professional as always.
Yeah, exactly. He gets longer to hydrate. We always talk about that. That's why you always see the main events weighing in first. Leon, obviously, as the former champ, gets to go first, and Sean Brady right there, hot on his heels. The man's a professional. This was never a question that he wasn't going to make weight.
Championship weight.
There it is, 170. I mean, this man's locked in, and he looks at Bilal. He believes that, he didn't really show up against Bilal Muhammad. That's kind of what he felt. But he feels that he has the exact style, which he does, to replicate what Bilal did.
That's it.
Well, in moments like that in facing Bilal, I think it was a very different fight than what he expected, because if we remember, Bilal actually outstruck him, didn't he? We didn't go for a grappling contest, which may be what Sean expected in that particular contest.
Well, we got to remember, Bilal Muhammad has better hands than Canelo Alvarez, after all. That's what he was saying in Manchester. That's what he's been saying this time. And I'll tell you what, in Manchester, the hands did look good. And the difference, why he was so successful, is that he wasn't using his hands, let me get rid of this water. He wasn't using his hands to just fake to set up the takedown.
Yeah.
He was trying to land on him.
Yeah.
When he was landing, that's when he was shooting. So he kind of had Leon a little bit flustered regarding his past style. He does like to go back and rely on the fence, because when people shoot in, you can lean on the fence, and then this whole series here of going for underhooks. Leon's a master at that. So that's why he allows people to come forward and walk him down, because he's reliant on the fence. This time, as we said, he's got to abandon that. He's got to go forward. He's got to be the aggressor. He's got to put it on Sean Brady and make him regret flying all the way over here.
Absolutely.
In the women's strawweight division, running a 5-fight win streak, Pooja Tomar.
Is the Indian superstar Pooja Tomar taking on Shauna Bannon this weekend, Nick?
I was talking to her yesterday, and she was telling us that the little village where she comes from in India is very, very traditional, and they don't really support women, doing, endeavouring what she's doing. So she would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She would disguise herself as a man, go out in the morning, go for a run, and then come back before the sun came up to train. I mean, you want to talk about discipline and work ethic. It's insane.
She's got a hell of a social media following as well.
Does she really?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. It's huge.
I tell you what, gents, let's get this man on the show.
There he is.
There you
How we
go.
doing, Jam?
Jump on in. Jump on in. Look at that.
Get that out of the
All
way.
business.
Stick it on the table, mate.
First on the
It's your show,
scales.
mate.
Done.
Done. Came in, woke up this morning. I didn't have much to go. You know what I mean? One of my easiest wake up, to be fair. So took about 20 minutes to be on weight. I was on weight, head over, and feeling good.
Regarding the way that you're feeling this week,
Yeah.
like I said to you when I spoke to you earlier on this week, just the energy that you are giving off, it feels like the weight of the world is off your shoulders now, that you can go in there and be free on Saturday night.
Yeah,
Is that a true assessment?
I feel so. I feel like I said, I was fighting before not to lose, chasing the records. But now I feel like I can go in there, can be myself, fight how I feel I should fight, you know what I mean? And I'm excited to start my second journey to the title, start this Saturday.
Well, let's talk about that, how you should fight, because we were just saying, and it's easier for us to say, of course, you're in there, the man's swinging at you, shooting takedowns, but we were like, Leon's got to go forward, he's got to be more aggressive, he's got to try and put Sean Brady on the back foot. Yeah. Is that kind of how you assess this as well?
Yeah, 100%, definitely. I feel like he falls apart on his back foot anyway, Sean. I feel like I have to just put it on him. I feel like the size difference in there as well will play a big part.
Yeah.
You got to obviously use my reach, but also be aggressive and keep him on his back foot. That's the plan.
When you look back at Manchester, you look at the performance against Bilal. Is it easy to brush that one off because you quite clearly felt that was certainly not you on your A game. Anything but your A game. That was your worst night.
Yeah, 100%.
Got you on your worst
Definitely.
night. Now it's about your best
I
night.
feel like even though I let the loss sit with me for a little bit, I feel like it was easier to put it in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? To think, I knew in my heart of what that with me. You know what I mean? And I get to show myself this Saturday, and so it is what it is.
What's it like, sat in that dressing room, getting yourself ready, door gets knocked, you're about to make the walk, and then your tune kicks in? He obviously went with the Blur song too. You've got your iconic tune, you know what I mean? You're in the O2, the crowd's going absolutely wild, curtain comes back, and it's showtime, man. What's that buzz like?
It's hard to explain, to put into words. You know what I mean? When the curtain opens up, it's like freeing. You know what I mean? Just like, this
is what I'm on the planet to do.
like, let's go. You know what I mean?
I used to be terrified every time. I used to look round at my coach and be like, why do I do this?
Like for me, like when the curtains are closed, they're kind of like talking to yourself, pumping yourself up. But once it's open for me, it's like, whew, like, let's go. You know what I mean? It's like freeing, like time to, it's like a relief, like time to go get to work in, you know, and
I saw you saying this week, you know, that Bilal as a champ is really annoying, and he just doesn't look right with the belt, and he's walking around talking like he's Mike Tyson and stuff. How much does that, I mean, of course you want to be the champion again, but seeing Bilal and that irritating you, how much does that motivate you to put on a good show in this week?
I think not just really Bilal, just motivate me to put on a good show, because I feel like I deserve to be the champ, you know what I mean? I want to be the champ, so I just feel like it's more fitting.
But are you just like clawing to get back in?
Yeah, 100%. For him, 100%, definitely, 100%. I feel like I said, it don't look right on him. You know what I mean? So I need to go out there and get it back and get the division moving again. So yeah, let's see what happens in May. We'll go from there.
All right. I've got to say, Leon, that smile, I didn't see that last summer.
Yeah.
But it hasn't come off your face all week, and I just think a happy fight is a dangerous fighter. I can't wait for Saturday.
I'm excited, man. I can't wait. Like I said, I'm pumped and ready to go, you know, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
If you had to make a prediction, how do you think this one ends?
Like I said, I feel like Bilal can stop you punches. I can stop you punches, and that's my mentality. I'm going in there to basically bully him. You know what I mean? I feel like I'll be the biggest, stronger man in there. My striking superior compared to Bilal's. So yeah, I'm going there to stop him. That's what I'm envisioning.
Obviously, he's going to look at the fight in Manchester and be like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to replicate that.
But if he does
do you think he can?
Absolutely not. You know what I mean? If you're judging that off my career, then he's in for a shot and height, you know what I mean? And like I said, it is easy for me to, like I said, put it to the back of my mind, the bit I lost, just move forward in my career, because I knew they were at me, you know what I mean? And I'll show myself Saturday, you know?
Go and get some food, man. Go and rehydrate. Go and get yourself ready. Enjoy your day. And we look forward to see you do your thing tomorrow night. Top man. Well done, Rocky. Well done, pal. There you go. Main event. Leon Edwards waiting first. Sean Brady came in straight after him. It's in the books, ready to rock and roll. You're going to be getting that on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. So you ready for some legendary Polish power? Let's bring him to the show.
Let's go.
Here he is. Jan, welcome, my friend. How are you?
Hello.
Are you all good?
Yeah, all good. Now, perfect.
There you go. We spoke in the week, didn't we, about obviously the process of making weight and getting ready. That's the first battle. The first battle is now ticked off.
The worst battle. The
worst battle.
What I don't like. Now it's something what I like.
Exactly. So now over the next 24, 36 hours, you and your team can start to get the mind purely focused on what comes on Saturday evening.
Yeah, last visualization, we're going to talk a little bit about tactics, and that's it. Everything what you have to do, we do. Now just relax and waiting.
As you said, just relax and wait. The worst battle is out of the way. You've done the weight cut now, and people won't understand this, but now it's fun. Now you get to do everything you've trained for. So I see that little smile on your face. How happy and how excited are you to finally get back in the octagon?
Finally, I'm here again. Like I can tell before, almost 2 hours break. 2 hours, 2 years break. So finally, I'm here again. Feel the pressure, this emotion, so I'm happy. Enjoy it.
The shoulder injury, obviously, Jan, kept you out for so long. There's only so much you can do in training, in sparring to push the shoulder. Is there an element in your mind where you need to get in there and get a couple of rounds under your belt and, it's fine, it's back to 100%?
Yeah, I need the time for that. I survived the time because it was, for me, was too long, too long. I'm waiting, but finally I feel that my shoulders start working very good. We do boxing sparring easier, then a little bit harder, and okay, I say now I can do everything like before.
Go ahead. I was going to say, how frustrating has it been, Jan, for you being out for that period of time? And was there a period where you thought that you might not fight again?
Yeah, I just miss for everything what's happened, but I don't waste my energy for that. I focus about physiotherapy, about rehabilitation, about be healthy in the next preparation, survive the next camp, and just be ready for the next fight.
We talked about this yesterday, but obviously we didn't have the cameras on. Your last fight, Alex Pereira, very, very close. The fight before that, a draw with Magomed Ankalaev, who's now the champion. So you know that your level is right there. So given all of that, I mean, you get a good win Saturday night. How far away from a title fight do you think you are?
No different option for me. After Saturday, when I'm going to win the fight, only title shot, nothing else.
So you're getting on the microphone and you're demanding a fight?
Yes, I will.
Let's go.
I will, yeah.
Sing a little song. Sing it.
Make it happen. I know you have a tradition before you come out to fights where you go and see the tree and you touch the rope and everything else. And I haven't been across your social media this week. Have you managed to go out and follow that tradition? Have you been there in this
I
camp?
was there. Take energy from this place.
There
I
we
got
go.
the rope with me.
Oh, there you go.
I will, yeah, this is the tree and the rope. I've got the rope with me. I will wear tonight in the, official. Not
Wrap
official,
it round
but,
his neck.
Yeah, maybe.
Talk to me about Carlos, because he's a really nice guy. So there's no bad blood. This is all just competition. He's on a 7-fight win streak. 5 of those are stoppages. Really good kickboxer. But you're no stranger to facing this style.
Yeah, I feel everything in octagon. But I've got a lot of respect to him, to his skills. But I'm here to fight the fight and win the fight. So I try to knock him out. That's it. He's a very nice guy. I like him. But fight is a fight. I have to do my job, knock him out, and that's it. But after the fight, we can go drink a beer. No problem for me.
You've already silenced the crowd here once at the O2 when you were fighting Jimmy Manoa way back when. Is that the type of performance that we're going to be expecting on Saturday night?
I hope so. Crowd will be on my side. A lot of Polish people live here in London. A lot of Polish fans will come here from Poland. So I hope so. They're going to be happy after my win.
We spoke to you on the podcast and we mentioned the Polish power, and you corrected us. You were like, no, legendary Polish power. How is the power feeling? Because 42 years old, but power's always the last thing to go.
Yeah, it's still, full of this power. So I'm going to show it tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Listen, enjoy your day, mate. Go and rehydrate, and we're looking forward to see you do your thing on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Top man. Well done, mate. Superstar.
Well done, brother.
There you go. One half of the co-main event. Jan Blachowicz taking on Carlos Ulberg, which you could catch on TNT Sports at Discovery Plus. That main card getting going from 8. I'm going to be honest.
Go on.
Out of all the fights that are on the card, I've highlighted 3, and that one is absolutely one of my favourites.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites as well. I mean, number 1, Jan Blachowicz. If you spend any time around him, it's impossible not to like him. And then inside the octagon, he's had a legendary career. He was the champion, of course. And last time against Alex Pereira, went out there and really, really pushed him. Won the first round. Second round was winning that one, but then Pereira landed a few good shots and stole it. Third round, kind of even. He got some takedowns. He's got a great chin. He's got big power. We're seeing that on display right now. Knocked out my old mate Luke Rockhold. The man he's just a beast of a competitor. And then you got this guy, Carlos Ulberg. Look at this. I mean, the man's tall, he's long, quick, he's got beautiful kickboxing, excellent training partners like Israel Adesanya and, of course, the whole team out there in New Zealand. And he's just on an absolute roll right now. Came off the Contender Series, had a beautiful knockout there. I knew he was going to do big things. He lost his UFC debut because he had his chin a little bit high. In a fight that he was dominating, but he got clocked, he got knocked out, and that learning curve will be very valuable going up against Jan Blachowicz, because you want to keep your chin down, keep your hands up, because technically he's probably got a little bit of an advantage, but Jan Blachowicz gets on the inside and just swings and brawls, and he just has it, you know what I mean? I love it.
And Jan's also got that experience factor. As Mike just said there, when Carlos came into the UFC, he'd only ever had 4 professional MMA fights, hadn't he? And obviously he loses his debut, but now he's on this unbelievable streak. He's incredibly dangerous. Plus he might have a bit of a chip on his shoulder, because last year he had 2 fights booked with Dom Reyes that fell off. He had one with Anthony Smith that fell off. And, the opportunity for the big profile fight wasn't there for him. He fought Uzumir and Menifield last year. This is his big chance.
Yeah.
The profile of Jan Blachowicz really propels him now towards a title shot.
Oh, it's huge. As we've just chatted to Jan then, excuse me, Jan is this close. Jan puts in a big performance. He's in the conversation again, because the 2 guys at the very top of the tree, he's got history with, recent history as well. So if Carlos Ulberg does a statement against Jan, well, guess what? He takes that place. That's how this sport works. You beat the man, you become the man. So this could be a massive opportunity for Ulberg. We know the Australasian MMA scene's in a bit of a flux right now, with Izzy kind of coming back down the mountain. They're looking for a new star. They're looking for somebody to get behind. And he could be the guy. If he knocks out Jan on Saturday night, I'm telling you now, New Zealand have got a new superstar.
Yeah, because he's already kind of known. He was on a reality TV show out there. The man does a bit of modelling as well. He's a good-looking guy. He's very marketable. And the competition steadily got tougher and tougher. Last time out, it was Volkan Oezdemir, a man that fought for the belt. And
no joke.
He had a good fight there, and he showed that he's got a good chin because Volkan Oezdemir's got the knockout power, much like Jan Blachowicz, and was able to pass the test. And as you said, now with Jan, a former champion, a big star, very well known. It's a very important matchup in the light heavyweight division.
I mentioned that obviously Jan Blachowicz and Carl Sundberg was one of my favourite fights. I think the production team are looking after me here because we're just bringing every one of my favourite fights to the table. Obviously, Jordan Vucenic taking on Chris Duncan. This is going to be an absolute cracker. But all on you first and foremost. Obviously, last time out, getting the call to take on Guram Kutateladze. We know what level Guram's at. He's a sensational fighter. And we're that close. We're that close to having that dream debut on such short notice, mate.
Yeah, like I said to you before, I think the stars have aligned for this one. So, yeah, what's in the past is in the past, and yeah, it's a new mindset going in, and I'm ready to take everything.
Delighted to have a full camp.
Yes, yeah, 100% full camp. Yeah, I just feel different this one.
For anyone that didn't see it, that UFC debut though against Guram Kutateladze, he was a really good world-class fighter. It was short notice, but you still pushed a really good pace. Your boxing looked absolutely phenomenal. So coming in this weekend against Chris Duncan, who's maybe not quite as experienced, but he loves a row, he loves a good fight. What kind of matchup are you expecting?
I think this is that old typical thing, isn't it? If you're against a brawler, you box them, and yeah, if you're against a boxer, you brawl them. So I'm going to have to just box his head off. I think that's going to be how the fight's going to play out. I think I'm just going to have to use my speed, use my fight IQ, and yeah, I'll be ready for whatever. And if I need to brawl him, I need to brawl him. I'm ready for it all.
When we're speaking to fans in and around the hotel and everyone involved in the MMA media, everyone keeps pointing to this fight as their tip for fight of the night.
Yep.
Is that how you see it? Are you expecting that, or are you thinking more performance tonight?
I'm thinking more performance tonight, if I'm honest with you. I think I can just go out there and make it clean. I know Chris has got that style where he can make every fight dirty, but I just think I'm on a different wave.
Can I ask you a question that's got nothing to do with fights?
Yeah.
What's the tattoo on the face?
Oh, so I had the 7 before. I had that was my lucky number. I'm covered in them, so I thought, why not? And then when my son was born grey, I got him, but I've had it lased off a few times now. I've had it put somewhere.
Really?
yeah. So, yeah, I think it was.
No, it suits you, man. Though you look good. I mean, you can pull it off. If I did it, I'd look like.
Well, there was a conversation on media day, and I don't know whether you and Chris have shook on this, but you both separately agreed to get one. The loser will get the other one's nickname tattooed on their derriere. Has that been?
I've not seen him since. He did say that, but like I said, it's a blank canvas and it will stay a blank canvas. So
I mean, that is a lot of pressure.
Talk to me about the rise of the Cage Warrior alumni coming into the UFC. I mean, there's loads on this card. I mean, I saw you in the week, obviously re-catching up with Morgan Charrier, who's obviously on this card, and there's loads of guys and girls that have come through that process. How proud are you that you've come through that process as one of the main men at Cage Warriors and now representing them inside the UFC?
Well, there's some legends, come through Cage Warriors, so it's nice to be part of that UK MMA roster of Cage Warriors. I mean, yeah, hopefully I can say I'm a Cage Warriors legend in the future, and just like you can. So, but I'm looking to replicate what he did as well and become a UFC legend. So, yeah, I'm happy I come through Cage Warriors, but hopefully it's just set me up to just absolutely get after it in the UFC.
Cage Warriors is a tremendous organisation, but this is where everyone wants to be, and you kind of use that as a platform to get here. So now you're here, it's almost like now everything steps up a gear. Is that kind of been the mentality going through your training camp?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like Cage Warriors is all the hard work leading up to it, but now we're on this different level, this different wave, and everything has to be ramped up. This is 10 times... 100 times bigger, so your performances have to be 100 times bigger, and I understand that, and that's exactly how I've took it on in my training, mentality, everything.
It's so annoying. Oh, go on.
No, I was just saying, just to finish off, because I know that you want to obviously get on with your day rehydrating. Has your phone been blowing up with mates trying to get tickets for this, mate, to come and enjoy you performing on London soil?
Yeah, 100%. And it's all been all these people it's all the ones that back in the day said you'll never make it.
I told you you'd make it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. You got a load of new mates.
When you're on Cage Warriors, you're selling tickets, so how many do you need? How many do you need?
Yeah,
But with
yeah.
UFC, like, mate, there's an email address or there's a website.
They're
Go
like,
on in. And
they always message me and say, "Oh, can I get some tickets?" I don't mind paying.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, UFC.com. You don't mind paying. Why are you coming through me? Go to the website. It's very easy to find.
Yeah. Or it's they're expensive. Can you sort me out? Get me a discount? No.
But from your point of view, I mean, I speak to Mike about it all the time. There's nothing like fighting in front of home fans.
Yeah.
Making that
This is
walk.
the true debut, let's be honest.
Yes.
This is the true debut.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, and like I said to you in the meeting before, I think I've just levelled up massive, and I just can't wait to show it. I can't wait to just... Do you know when you're in there and it just clicks and you think, yeah, okay, here we are. Like, that moment's going to come early and, yeah, you're going to see it.
Where was the debut? Just remind me. Against Gurum?
Abu Dhabi.
That was in Abu Dhabi,
yeah,
right. So now you get to walk in. It's London, the O2 Arena.
Yeah.
What's the walkout music?
Chase and status all goes wrong.
Standard,
so
man.
let's go.
you're going to have
Standard,
the whole crowd's going to be screaming it, so it's going to be...
Man's taking
unreal,
this on a stag
unreal.
do. I like it. Brilliant. Jordan, enjoy your day, mate. Go on.
Thank you very much.
Get on with your rehydration, my friend. Thank you very much
Enjoy
for a
the
little
rest
bit
of
of your
your
time.
day.
It'll be an absolute cracker. Jordan Vicenik taking on Chris Duncan. Do not miss that fight. 100% do not miss that fight. Also, don't miss this lady, because come in here, Shauna Bannon. In there. Oh, they want you to stand there. They all right, okay. There you go. Just a constant ray of sunshine throughout the whole course of the week. You know what I mean? I see some fighters, some of them are within themselves. I'm cutting weight, I'm a bit angry, I'm a bit tensed up. Not you, mate, bouncing around. What?
I'm doing what I love, so I'm happy.
Is there also a sense of the performance in Manchester? We're now here, we've got the win. Everybody, you know what I mean? There's that. I speak to a few fighters about imposter syndrome in the UFC, and until you get that first win and that realisation that, actually, yeah, I do belong here.
Yeah,
This is
no,
where I'm supposed to be.
100%.
Is there an element of that?
Yeah, and I think like with my debut, that was like short notice, so I didn't really have a camp. Like, I didn't know whether I was allowed to take it or not because the Invictus situation, and there was a lot in the background. And then my last fight camp, I had an injury. There was a lot going on in my personal life, so there was a lot. This fight camp has just been smooth. Like, obviously, there's like lumps and bumps in the middle of every
course.
fight camp, but it was smooth in comparison to others. And I feel like this is really my debut in the UFC. And I haven't shown even anywhere near my full potential, I feel, in the octagon. So I'm really excited to just get into my flow state and just go for it on Saturday.
Talk to me about this matchup against Pooja. What do you know about her? What do you think of her style?
Her striking style, I suppose, is same but different to mine. She kind of shows a side kick, which she's had success with. She's more overhands rather than straight punches. I'd have more straight punches. I feel like I'm levels above her on the grappling. But yeah, she's tough. You can tell by her in her fights. She's tough. She has grit. And yeah, I'll have to get that out of her on Saturday.
You do realise as well she's got a colossal social media following, so...
Loads of new fans for me!
Exactly, that's the way to think about it. You're going to be super popular in India come Sunday morning.
5 million followers from India, woo!
Just on you, talk to me about activity levels, because I know you've got a busy life. You've got a lot of stuff going on outside, obviously, of mixed martial arts. Do we need more than one a year from you?
Yes,
Is that
please,
Nick. How many are you looking for this year? Getting
I would
at least
love-
2 or 3?
I'd love 3 or 4.
All right, okay.
Like, my first 5 pro fights were in the space of 12 months.
Yeah.
I work well with momentum. That's all I've known. In kickboxing, I competed every other weekend. So those big gaps in between are not for me. I like to stay as active as possible. When I was an amateur, I fought from flyweight, bantamweight, catch weights. I even fought featherweight once just to get a fight. So, like, I want to be active.
Right.
Like, I would love to fight again in the summer, again, let's say September, and then before Christmas. That would be the dream for me.
To get those kind of opportunities, though, you've got to go out there and you've got to entertain
Exactly.
people. So talk to me about this fight. I mean, how do you think this one's going to play out?
I feel like if it's up or down, I can get the finish. I think with picking my shots, the shots I've been working, she's southpaw, and I've been obviously sparring southpaws the whole camp, and loads of shots that I wouldn't have thrown in with orthodox, like let's say stuff I would have thrown in kickboxing, it just was coming back and sparring because of the different stance, the different distance. So loads of few new, like, little flashy stuff that I can show that's from my roots. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think whether it's on the feet or on the floor, if I go out there and perform, it's going to be an exciting fight.
Well, the good news is that it's on TV. We've got the whole thing. Normally, those early prelims, we kind of miss them, but not this time. We are on and rocking
Yeah,
and rolling.
thank God.
Shauna, enjoy your day.
Thanks
go
so
on.
much,
Go and
guys.
rehydrate and
Thanks.
get yourself full sorted. Thank you so much, Shauna. Shauna Bannon there taking on Pooja on those early prelims. As I said right at the top of the show, At 5 p.m, we're going to get this cracking on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus.
The deal on teeth.
What do you mean?
Shauna, have you seen the pearly whites on these?
Tom's just had his done as well, hasn't he? Exactly. They're all at it. They're all at it.
Yeah.
Here, I tell you what, they keep coming.
Let's have the guest.
Come on, Nathaniel. Here he is, Nathaniel Wood.
Well, not Nathaniel. I'm seeing you
No,
all
I'm
week.
not, mate. I'm human now. Now that I've got the weight cut done.
Feeling good?
Feeling good. That's the paycheck, right? So tomorrow's the bit that we do for free.
On a scale of 1 to 10 on the weight cut in terms of difficulty, where was this one?
Do you know what? So before I went to start the cut, I was looking at a harder cut than ever before. I was thinking, you know, not now, but it was the easiest cut I've had. I sweated quicker, slept well, floated more in my sleep than I've ever done before. So it's the best weight cut I've had in a long time, but the heaviest I've ever cut. So maybe it's just getting older. You know, my body's changing. I'm sweating more maybe, and yeah.
You just get used to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your body just like that
in.
muscle memory. Yeah.
Once I started, it was just pouring out of me. So, you know.
I wish it were like that for me, mate, when I was trying to cut weight. It just doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
doesn't
Back
happen,
in your
does it?
combat days.
No, just on scales, mate. You know what I mean? I wish it did come off me.
No, you want to save water. You want to put weight on.
Yeah, exactly.
Just on your move to this weight division, because don't say this is disrespect. I think we are seeing the very best version of you in this weight division. You probably could still just about make the weight division below, but are you feeling a lot better in your work fighting at 145?
Definitely, and I think the proof's in the pudding. You know, I've actually fought at featherweight before in the past, and so if you count my record, I'm 5-1 at featherweight, and I'm not going to class them as having name or fight as a loss, really, in my eyes. Definitely not a loss because of anything to do with weight either. So I'm like, you know, the people that think, he's too small to be a featherweight, I'm like, what more can I do other than win my fights, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm winning them confidently as well. I might not be getting the finishes like I did in bantamweight, but I'm growing into that featherweight, and now I feel like I'm going to be walking into this fight a lot heavier than I have previously. I feel like I've definitely got a speed advantage, whereas when I cut down to bantamweight, I lose that advantage. You know, it just makes me the same as everyone else. So I'm like, okay, I might have a little disadvantage in being the smaller guy, but now I have an advantage in being the faster guy, and I definitely have an advantage in being just happier and healthier in fight camp. You know, I actually can focus on my fight, my training, my diet without just thinking calories. And
when people look at your career, you've been around for a long time now. You know, I forget how many years you've been on the roster, but you're still only, 31?
31.
31, so you've still got the best years ahead of you yet.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, a lot of people have seen my fights where it's been a barn burner. A lot of my fights haven't gone that way. There's only been a couple of fights where I've come out with a lot of shots taken. I think I'm still pretty healthy in my mind. I'm definitely not got that many injuries, you know, touch wood.
Yep.
There was 2-year layoff I've had in the UFC where obviously for 2 years I didn't get to compete. But, man, I'm still young, but I've got the experience in the same breath. So I feel like I'm in my prime now. And I feel like, you know, maybe I've got a couple of years in the prime, and then when it starts to decline, then I'll call it quits.
When this fight was made here for London, Morgan Sherrier, your ears must have pricked up because it's a name that UK fans are familiar with. It's a name that obviously the French fans will travel for. Everyone around the hotel. This is another one of the fights that everyone's really talking about. And Morgan's got this strength and Nathaniel's got this strength. And I feel like we're in matchups now which are starting to mean something and really start to kick you up the rankings to great opponents. And I think he's kind of like, stylistically, you're mates for each other. Something magic's going to happen, I think.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'd rather good fights as opposed now to like just people ranked. You know, I'm kind of bored about, can I have a ranked opponent? Can I have a ranked opponent? Just give me a good fight, I'm happy. And Morgan's a great fight. You know, he's very similar to my style. I think his style allows me to really thrive with mine. So I think it's going to be a good fight, but I do plan on going in there and not making it a barn burner. You know, I want to go in there, put on a clinical performance, not get hit, and do as much damage as I can.
I've got something for you, mate. I've got something for you. Because when I used to watch this man fight, right, and that song 2 used to blast out around the place, is there anything better than this?
No. That is...
Come on, Is there?
Does anyone else have that?
No, mate.
I think I am the only one, right?
Mate, I could listen to that all day.
My boxing coach said to me, change it. He said, put Mr. Brightside on. I was like, mate, that's staying with me for the rest of my career.
The minute...
once you commit to it, you've got to stick to it. That's my identity.
The opening bars, you know, Nathaniel's walking.
The crowd go wild.
Yeah, of course.
I think the commissioners hate me because it takes about 25 seconds to get into, and they're like, right, go. And I'm just standing there like,
weight?
Yeah, no, it's okay. You're not Brazilian, because a lot of the Brazilians, they take their time on their walkout. You know, they take minutes and minutes and minutes. They really milk it. So don't worry about 20 seconds.
Perfect. Listen, go and rehydrate. Go and enjoy yourself today,
Lovely.
mate.
Thank you,
and
guys.
We'll see you do your thing
Yes,
tomorrow
good
night.
to see you.
Enjoy the rest of your
Top
day.
stuff. Well done, Nathaniel. Nathaniel Wood and Morgan Charrier going at it on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. Make sure you come and join us for that. I think you're right, Nick, with what you just said stylistically. They just work so well together. That could be...
Could be a bomb.
There could be a
Come on in,
bonus on
Lonnie.
that. Oh, Lonnie, how are you,
Lonnie,
mate?
how
You
we
good?
doing?
I'm all good, thank you. How are you guys?
Very well.
Very well indeed, mate. Listen,
Excuse the hair, sorry.
not so.
No, you look good, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Much better than mine, anyway. Right, here we go. We've had the debut now.
Yes, sir.
But are you classing this one as the big
homecoming?
debut?
Homecoming, isn't it? It's
This is
homecoming,
it.
yeah.
How excited are you?
I'm very excited. Now, the hard work's done. Made the weight. Now just ready for tomorrow. Feeling good about it.
Is this a moment you've always dreamed of? Obviously, you're a lifelong martial artist, growing up though as a boy and training. Yeah, you want to fight in the UFC. You had a great debut in Macau, but now to walk in the O2 Arena in London, as I say, is this a moment you've always dreamed of?
Yeah, this is a dream come true. That's all I can say about it. It's crazy being here, man. Like, it's the way everything's planned out. I'm very thankful for it.
When we were in London last year, where were you? Where did you watch the fight from? Were you inside the arena?
No, I actually just fought the day before, and I didn't manage to get tickets. Normally I do. So I watched it just from home with some friends.
And obviously you're sitting at home, you're watching with friends, you're celebrating your win from the night before. Were you daring to dream then? Were you thinking, this time next year, that will be me?
Yeah, that was the plan. I was always like, one day, that's going to be me, and then it just happened to be now. So I'm thankful for it.
Mega.
Obviously, we've got a big night Saturday, right? But I'm going to get giddy now, mate. I'm
All
going to get excited, all right? We've got the champ next to us here.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, we've got Tom, we've got Leon, people who have picked up
Big fan.
belts, right? Now, your division, because we've got a dominant champion, and he's looking around for competitors, people to obviously challenge him.
Fresh blood.
Is the process of getting to that title fight a little bit shorter than it would be in maybe another division?
I'd like to think so. Yeah, obviously I always take one fight at a time. Saturday night's what's in front. But in terms of timescale, yeah, I feel like anything can happen in the flyweight division.
I mean, Kaya Sakura was the last guy to challenge for the belt. He's got a title fight on his debut. Of course, he was a champion from another organisation. But you've been pretty busy. I think it was last summer you were on the Contender. November, you made your debut. Now you're back here in March. So, that's 3 fights in a pretty short amount of time. You get a big win this weekend. You're going to leapfrog a lot of people.
Yeah, so you know what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
I know you debuted in Macau and it was a bit of a homecoming for you with your mum being Chinese, but you told me this week that your family didn't get to travel out. You got family inside the arena?
Yeah, my mum's going to be there today. My
Amazing.
mum, my auntie, everyone. So yeah, I'm happy to get to be there.
What are you like now between right now, weighing in, all done and dusted, and actual...
Don't answer your mum. You can't
You can't bring your mum.
you have to
you have
take
your mum. You've got to answer it. If it's your mum, you've got to answer it.
She'll be very shocked.
You're on TV. What's the process like now for you between this and fight night? Are you a guy that just likes to be around people? Do you like to be on your own? How does all that work
Yeah,
for you?
I feel like, obviously rehydrate, refeed, and just chill. Like, I'm going to go home tonight, walk the dogs, wake up tomorrow, walk the dogs, have a fight in the evening.
Go and walk the dogs and then have a scrap on a Saturday
That's
night,
the
eh?
plan,
Now, talk to me about going through this whole process with Nathaniel Wood, with Brad Pickett, with guys that have been around here for so long. Is that a real big advantage to you because you can just soak up all that experience and they can kind of guide you down the path?
Yeah, definitely. Like, having these guys as my teammates and having them here with me right now, having my coaches, Ash Grimshaw, Carlton Lou, my nutritionist, artists to help me make weight. Honestly, like, every fight has got more refined, and the fact that it's the most refined now in London with my whole team behind me, I'm over the moon.
Is it true that Brad Pickett treats Bonnie the dog better than any human?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Bonnie gets to sleep on his jacket. I don't get to sleep on his jacket. I don't even get to put on his jacket. What's going on?
Listen, mate, go and get rehydrated.
Awesome.
Go and
Thank you,
enjoy
guys.
your
I
day.
appreciate
All the best,
you.
Lonnie.
Thank you,
Enjoy the
sir.
rest of your day,
Thank you,
buddy.
sir.
And enjoy yourself tomorrow night, mate. Top man. There you go, Lonnie. Kavanagh. Back in the UK, looking forward to do his thing. Here we go. They're coming thick and fast now. We've gone big. We've gone from a flyweight to a heavyweight. Here we go. Mick, how are you, buddy?
Good.
Obviously, this is a big one. Yeah. Marcin Tybura standing across from you tomorrow night with big ramifications as well for rankings in the division. You know what it means tomorrow night. Has the preparation in any way, shape or form been slightly different because the level of opponent has gone up?
I still train pretty hard all the time. Like, I just think of it, it's a fight. That's the end of the day. He's definitely a harder opponent. The only thing different, I'm maybe 10 weeks out, I start up my training rather than the 8 weeks as usual, so that's probably the only difference, really.
Done an extra couple of weeks.
Yes, couple of
Good
weeks.
man.
What did you weigh in at just now? Because we couldn't hear.
260.
260. Is that heavy for you or about
No,
the
it's
same?
A bit lighter, actually. A bit
Right,
lighter,
okay.
265.
That's an extra 2 weeks, mate.
To be fair, well, and for breakfast as well. Big breakfast.
Oh, yeah,
breakfast
breakfast.
before.
Oh, I hate
little
that.
guys are killing us. Straight for breakfast. Only difference this time.
Beans on toast.
Nah, scrambled egg and a bit of porridge.
Oh, nice and healthy.
The only difference at this time, I did a bit of a dietitian. Like, I never really bothered about my weight, but I just thought maybe it's the way I'm eating, when I'm eating, so I tried that, and it helped a little bit me train, so that maybe took a little bit off.
Yeah, well, now you're 10-0. Marcin Tybor is he's very experienced. He's kind of a bigger name. You beat him, you'll be number 8 in the rankings. Is everything getting a bit more serious and disciplined now?
Yeah, definitely. I just maybe it's just with Tom. I know he takes his diet not very serious. And I just thought I'd try it for this camp, see how I felt. Like it's not going to hurt.
Just give it a go.
Just give it a go.
Try this eating healthy log. I'm a professional athlete. I guess I
always eat pretty good, but I think maybe I wasn't actually eating enough. But I felt like the more I've actually ate, the more weight I lost. So I was signing posters for Leon Edwards. And he was asking, what did you have for your breakfast today? And I was like, 3 egg omelette, tomatoes, bowl of porridge, honey, banana. And he was just like,
he's fuming.
Livid. Hating us.
Listen, Manchester last summer, fantastic. You extend to 10-0, you get your first finish inside the UFC as well. But more particularly, you got a bonus, $50,000. Was that a life-changing amount of money?
Doubled. It was doubled.
Yeah, you got 2.
You got the 100. Come on.
Life-changing?
Life-changing. I got it, I remember, because I spoke to Tom, because the bonuses, obviously I never got one before, and I was texting Tom, like, have you got yours yet? Have you got yours yet? He's like, no, they usually take a while. Then I only got the bonus of the 50,000. I remember thinking, they've changed their mind. They've changed their mind.
They've done it.
I messaged Tom, and Tom was like, I haven't got my first one yet. So then I think I spoke to them, and they sent it straight out. I think I must have just sent it like 2 installments, because I was like, what do I actually do if they've just changed their mind? I can't even complain. I'd just be like, it's...
When you see that drop in your bank account, did you go to Cash Point a couple of times just to...
I was amazing. I was just like looking at it in your bank, just like, that's amazing. I just look at it, just sit and look at it, move my hands.
Obviously, getting an extra 100k, that's great, but getting the knockout, more importantly, that's the bigger win. How much does that mean to you? Because you now know you can go out, you can hurt these guys, you can knock them out, you can put them to sleep.
Yeah, I was just maybe he's took a few things on board, like a few criticisms. Maybe he's playing a little bit too safe in the earlier fights, and then like. Me and my coach just worked on maybe I was hitting people for like the 1-shots and the counters, and then maybe he's not following it up. So I went on maybe just worked on the 2s and the 3s, and then like happened in the last one. Then every fight I'm just trying to add something to my game, and then hopefully that'll show in this fight as well.
Top man, Mick. Listen, I'd say go and rehydrate, but you've already had your breakfast, mate. So.
Eat more. Thanks. Cheers, lads. Thank you.
Top man. Enjoy yourself tomorrow night, mate. Top man. There you go. Mick Parker taking on Marcin Tybura. It's a cracking fight in the heavyweight division, and the heavyweights always deliver.
It's a phenomenal opportunity for me, because with all due respect, this time last year heading into Manchester, we weren't necessarily talking about fighting the top 10 in the world. He is on Saturday night. Marcin Tybura has been there, done it, got the t-shirt, fought Tom just a couple of years ago, and he was one of the springboard opponents that took Tom to where he is right now. So Mick has got the coattails of Tom Aspinall. If he can follow it through, don't get me wrong, it's all good and well saying he's got a top 10 opponent, what a great opportunity. He's going to realise on Saturday night that he's genuinely in there with a top 10 opponent. The step up in levels in the heavyweight division is dramatic.
But stylistically, he matches up very, very well with him. And then, of course, he has got Tom that he trains with to lean on as a resource. That's been in there, who beat Marcin Tybura, who kind of made it look very easy, if we're honest. So you can pick Tom's brains. But I think, just physically, and when you talk to the guy, he's got very every chance of beating this guy. And if he beats him, he's then ranked number 8, Crazy. And it's starting to get serious then. I'm not saying that he's going to be challenging or having a fight with Tom anytime soon, but now we're talking Derek Lewis, we're talking Tai Tuivasa, we're talking big names. And if he can get one of those guys, it becomes almost a household name in mixed martial arts.
Obviously, British fans remember Marcin from fighting Tom and how quick that fight was. But last time out, Marcin was absolutely fantastic. He absolutely brutalised his opponent. So he's coming in here with his tail up, Nick.
Well, he's got the TKO win there. We've just seen the replay of the submission win over Tai Tuivasa as well. So absolutely, we're not talking about a Marcin Tybura that's spent, far from it. But the opportunity is for Mick Parker. He's the surging athlete. He's the guy that's going to have home advantage here, the fans in his corner. And honestly, we've been critical of him. You know, we've seen all these performances, and maybe it was safety first, and maybe it leans on what Leon said earlier. Now I've got a loss, I'm not worried about it no more. I can be free, and I think Mick looked like he was fighting to stay undefeated, not to lose, rather than to win in style.
Yeah.
In Manchester last summer, he won in style, and he got $100,000 bonus for it. Something will trigger in his mind. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're better off trying to win in style than winning comfortably and going on with just your show money.
But it's not just that either. It's when you get that extra $100,000, by the way, on top of his purse as
Yes.
well. And you're starting to fight regular, and money's coming in, and all of a sudden the man's buying a house right now. You look at your bank balance, you're like, hold on, this is all paying off. And the harder I train in the gym, the more money I see in my bank account. It's like, hold on, I'm onto something here. So it just reinforces all the discipline.
Yeah. If you just join us on this fantastic Friday morning in London, we're in the Fighter Hotel for the official weigh-ins. There'll be a ceremonial a little bit later on coming to you from the O2. Everybody has weighed in, bar one person, Christian Leroy Duncan. We're waiting for him to come through. But everybody else has come through, and everybody has hit weight. Just a sea of green on my iPad here, including that main event of Leon Edwards and Sean Brady.
This is a quick one.
It is a quick one. We're only 40 minutes into it. So a little reminder, if you've only just joined the show, early prelims on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus get going from 5. Late prelims get going from 6. Main card from 8. It is all available for you. And, of course, the main event, Leon Edwards taking on Sean Brady. Somebody else that I just wanted to have a quick word about is Molly.
Yeah.
Obviously, you spent a little bit of time with her. We've spoken about Pooja and Sean O'Bannon's fight. But from a Molly point of view, this is a big, big night for her. She's coming off the back of a loss. She's got a change of opponent here. This is a must-not-lose fight, isn't it?
It is, as much as anything, in the eyes of Molly McCann, because she doesn't want to be just another fighter in the UFC. She wants to leave a bit of a legacy. This is just some of her highlights from the O2 over the years. She's been absolutely phenomenal with these spinning elbows, like the submission as well. You know, on her night, Molly is more than capable of competing with anybody. The switch of opponent doesn't help. Thainara comes in, as you can see there, she's super confident. She's been like this bouncing around the hotel all week in her onesie, big smile on her face, very comfortable with her surroundings. Dana White Contender Series, she is here making a little bit of a statement. Okay, this is a UFC debut, and for her, that's huge. To fly to the other side of the world from Brazil, to fight in London, to take on a British girl, there's a lot of pressure on her, but as you can see, she's a very aggressive striker. And she will get that from Molly. But she's also got a very sound ground game as well. She's got good jiu-jitsu on the ground, which is obviously somewhere in the past where Molly's lacked. So I think it's a really tough matchup. She's got an incredibly strong record. She's coming to win, and she's telling everyone she's about to make a statement.
11-1.
11-1.
Had a good showing on the Contender. We just saw it there, though. She swings wide open.
She does.
Molly's a good boxer.
Yeah.
Molly's a good mixed martial artist. Molly's a great athlete. Yet she's struggled a little bit lately. I think she's lost 3 out of the last 4, but she's going to show up. She's going to be in shape, and she's going to stand there and go toe-to-toe, because you know Molly McCann ain't going to back up. She's not a coward. She absolutely loves this. She says half of Liverpool is going to be in attendance, so she's going to be fired up like she always is.
Yep.
And this girl here, Alexia Thainara, she's flying over from Brazil. It is short notice, and it is a big step up. When we talk about octagon jitters, I think she'll come out of there like a bat out of hell. And I don't think the cardio should be an issue, because pre-UFC, you shouldn't be doing fight camps. It's not about, I'm going to sit on the sidelines and then do a camp. You're training every day. You have a fight on the regional scene, and you're back in the gym on Monday. That should be the mentality. So going 3 rounds shouldn't be an issue, but we'll find out.
We will find out, and we're also going to find out about this guy as well. Earlier on, we spoke to his opponent. I think it's only fair that we bring him into the show, because we are all tipping it to be an absolute cracker for the fight fans.
Morning, Chris. Okay, buddy.
Chris, go on, stick all your stuff on there, mate. You're more than welcome, and then take that microphone, sir. I like the shades, mate.
Yeah, look good.
You're giving people the impression
You don't want to see what's underneath them, though.
Listen, mate.
Skull.
Was it a tough one, or were you relatively straightforward?
Sorry.
No problem.
This was a cruisy one. I had a really bad one in Paris, believe it or not. So I was very diligent. I did a lot of things that I should have been doing in the last one, but I took that one on 4 or 5 weeks' notice, and it is what it is. I make it professional every time.
What are your feelings towards this fight? Because we're all giddy, the fans are all giddy, everybody I speak to on the street, of course we're talking Leon, we're talking Sean Brady, but everybody mentions your fight with Jordan as one of those that they're most looking forward to.
Actions will speak louder than words. Everyone can talk about it. We're going to go in there and we're going to knock each other out. So I'm going to put on a good performance. Jordan's a great opponent to have, and I'm just, after my last win, I was really privileged to get a guy like him to fight me. You know, it's big name, and all respect to him, but you know, there's no friends in there.
You're known for your entertaining style. You come from behind victories.
You kind of get hit too much.
Well, you do get cracked a little bit, don't you? So I was going to ask you about that. I said, what's the idea here? Are you going to try and style on him a little
Punch
bit,
him out,
try and hit and not get hit, or are you just going to plant your feet and say, "Come on, throw down, big boy"?
No, I think sometimes like the jitters do come into it. You'll know yourself, Mike. It takes fights on fights to get past that, and Beloki was in my face, and nothing ever goes to plan in these bloody fights. So
I know it's almost like they're also trying to win as well.
I always remember Mike Perry was like, "No, you go."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mate, your performance in Paris at the back end of last year, phenomenal. First round submission, bonus in the bank. Do you feel like you've levelled up now, and is that why when people are saying, "Oh, your fight with Jordan's going to be fight of the night," you kind of think, "No. Didn't you see that show? I'm levelled up. I'm levelled above this opponent. Get ready for a statement."
You've only seen a small snippet of me. I've went the distance twice since I've been in the UFC, and then I got finished in one submission. I've also submitted the other guy, so there's more to come.
Tell me about your relationship with Jordan, because obviously Scottish, English, coming up on the same kind of scene. What kind of relationship do you have? Do you know each other?
Yeah, we talk to
I know
each
you
other.
fought on the amateurs a long time ago, right?
Yeah. So we talk to each other through social media. I think he's a bit of a madman. He's got his armpit tattooed.
He's got his face tattooed.
Incredible.
No,
everything tattooed.
The armpit's so
fine.
painful.
You could take a little bit of pain there, but your armpit,
It's horrific.
Why would you get your armpit tattooed as well?
Ask him.
More money than sense. That's what it is.
I like his style of tattoos. He's got a cool style of tattoos. I'm obviously into tattoos myself, but man, anyone who gets their armpit tattoos bad.
What about his style of fighting, though? Never mind the tats.
Yeah, just clean and crisp.
Yeah,
that's what I would call Jordan. But obviously, you can see myself. Timing beats speed, and precision beats power.
How does the day plan out now? Are you? I've asked a few fighters this. Are you the guy that likes to be away from it all now, or would you like to be around your friends and family and just soak up that energy before you
Just
make the
live
walk?
in the moment, man. Like, if you put yourself away, you're going to miss the journey. And this is an incredible platform. I'm super thankful. One of my good friends, Robert Dempster, had said to me, "You pay anything to be in the position you are right now, so live in it." And I do. And standing next to you guys, God's sake, I'm on TV, man. That's insane.
Listen, we've seen Scottish flags in Paris.
Yep.
I'm sure we're going to see some Scottish flags tomorrow
How
night.
cool is that?
Unbelievable.
Like, I walked outside the hotel and there was 30 Scottish guys. I'm like, I cannot believe I've got fans. That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, you keep knocking people out and submitting people, mate. You know what I mean? It's kind of an attractive thing to go and watch.
That's it, man. You've got to be exciting. I pride myself on getting to the UFC from my mentality and my fighting style and my personality, most of all. Hey, listen, me and you know how difficult it is to be a grappler, but sometimes you've got to wrestle, and my debut was boring. Sometimes you've got to get the cash in the bank, and I've done that, and I feel comfortable, so I'm going to go out there and put on
Grappling's fun, but cracking someone in the face is 10 times better.
If I went out, first 5 seconds and knocked him out, that's like ideal.
Yeah. And you've come a long way from shearing sheep for a living as well.
Yeah. So,
do you miss it?
Not one bit. Not one bit. I left shearing because I lost my mum. Obviously, I wear this to the weigh-ins, to the fight. I lost my mum from that, and I decided, stuff this. I'm going to go to do something I enjoy. Yeah. And that's what I do now. So I always think of her when I'm making weight and stuff. So it makes me strong.
God bless you, man. God bless you. Listen. Enjoy your day, mate.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy your day. Go and spend some
Appreciate
time
it,
with friends and
Thank you.
family. Top man.
Chris.
Take care, buddy.
There he is.
Thank you.
Chris Duncan. The energy. I'm feeling that energy, man.
I was cold before. These keep coming in. They're all red hot. I'm sweating.
Yeah, but I'm feeling the energy off him, just the way that he's speaking about that fight and that performance. And Jordan did the exact same thing. These two, I think, are really... I know that they're all talking about a performance individually, but I just think their styles are going to lend to a great fight for the fans to watch.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Jordan Vucenic, I was so impressed with him when I watched him against Guram Kutaladze, because for anyone that watches this sport and is a hardcore fan, they know that name and they know how good he is. And yeah, he lost, but he just looked so good, and he was in control, and he started to slow down a little bit because it was short notice. Then on the flip side, Chris Duncan, we know what he's capable of. We know how violent he is.
Yeah.
These two have fought on the amateur scene as well, so they know each other. It's going to be a really, really interesting matchup. Chris though, he has got to do what he was talking about. He's got to control it a little bit. He's got to slow down because I think in terms of finesse, maybe Jordan's a little bit slicker and quicker and maybe more prettier when it comes to the actual boxing style. But as we know, Chris Duncan's got that knockout power and just that violence in him.
Exactly. And while he says he's got a plan, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And then it becomes attrition.
Come on, I know that you want to talk about the Scouse, the battle of the Scouse gyms. Is that your tip for the one not to miss?
This is the reason why everybody at home needs to be sat down in front of their TVs at 5 p.m. sharp on Saturday, because on the early prelims, Fletcher versus the Don. England versus Ireland, but more than that, it's Liverpool versus Liverpool. This is a fight that's kind of divided the city. Arguably the two most prominent gyms in the city, Four Corners versus Next Gen. Obviously Next Gen right now absolutely stacked with talent. Nathan Fletcher fights out of Next Gen. Lachlan fights out of Four Corners. Again, these two fought as amateurs. Fletcher won on points, but there's been bubbling, simmering ever since. Lachlan's been in the UFC a little bit longer. OK, he's coming off a loss last summer in Manchester, but he's looking to make a statement, and Fletcher's looking to ride the wave that is Next Gen at the moment, who, by the way, it quietly could have one of the best years of any gym in UK MMA history if all goes to plan. You've got Fletcher here.
He's going all in his
They've
Scouse.
got
He's going all in his Scouse.
They've got Paddy the Baddie in a huge fight.
Throw Darren Till in there.
You know, and
just for the crack.
There's names like Luke Riley waiting to be sold, Gittins waiting to be brought into the UFC as well. Honestly, this could be the year of Next Gen.
The mayor of Liverpool has spoken.
Never misses an opportunity. No, but Jamie Fletcher, for anyone that doesn't know, he was on the old... pardon me. That's an old mate of mine.
His ears have just pricked up. I'm going to fight this weekend.
You mentioned me on TV. He was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yep.
Did pretty well. Last time I got I think it was a first round or second round submission. He's got this jiu-jitsu threat as well, so should be a fun one. But Carlo Loughran, he's a bit of a wild man. He likes to ground and pound. He's a little bit shorter, but he's very, very powerful. And as you said, there's a little bit of beef there, a little bit of bad blood.
Yeah, I think last time in Manchester as well against Jake Hadley, he just didn't get going. And I know the Don, and I know how he will have felt, him and his brother, are lifelong mixed martial artists. And he'll be looking to really put a right wrong there. Not almost the level of Leon, where he let himself down against Jake Hadley. He just didn't turn up. He can't afford to do that here because, again, this is Scouse bragging rights on the line.
And are you putting the belt on him? Is that what it is? Is there a particular belt that comes along with this fight?
And it's a stolen one.
Yeah. He's gone all in.
Calm down on the steroids.
So he's gone for the battle of the Liverpool gyms. Is there a particular fight? I know that you're calling through some of these.
Yeah.
But is there a particular fight that you're thinking, this is the one that the fans can't miss?
I mean, obviously the main event, of course, the storyline going into that one is it writes itself. But the co-main event, Jan Blachowicz, Carlos Ulberg. I remember calling Carlos's fight on the Contender years ago, and I forget who it was, but he smoked him. He made it look easy. He's tall, he's long, his kickboxing's fantastic, and I thought, whoa, this guy is going to be a problem. And now here we are, a few years later, 7 wins in a row, and against Jan Blachowicz, who everyone knows him. He's always value for money. He's always fun. Yeah, he's 42 years old, but I think he's looking at this as a massive opportunity to get back into that win column and the title talks and all the rest of it. And I think he's got a real shot that if he wins this, of becoming the champion again. I mean, what a story that would be for Jan Blachowicz to become a 2-time champion, but he's got to get through Carlos Ulberg first.
If Glover Teixeira can do it at his age that he did it, then absolutely Jan can do it.
One fight that's just going under the radar because there's so many great fights to get excited about is Jai Herbert and Chris Padilla. You know that Jai always brings the fun. Padilla's a wild man as well. He loves a knockout. It's on the prelims there for the fans to get excited about. It's important that Jai starts to put a bit of a run together because he's a win one, lose one type of guy, isn't he, at the moment? If he can start to put a run together, then it could be a really exciting time for him.
Yeah, and he's a really exciting fighter. And you know what? When you speak to other fighters from other gyms, everybody loves him. Jai Herbert's one of the most popular guys on the UK roster by a black country mile.
Nice.
But he's... You're right, though. He needs to start putting wins together now. What's happening, he's getting opportunities away from home, and he's winning away from home, and that's important. But to get any momentum, you've got to put 3 and 4 wins together because that's when the phone keeps talking. We were talking about this the other day. these events like this, you've got to win Saturday night, because on Monday morning when they open their war room in Las Vegas and they go, right, what do we do next? They don't immediately say, well, what do we do with the losers? They go, what do we do with the winners?
Yeah.
Where do they go next? And the losers are the afterthought. And Shauna was saying, I want to be busy, I want 3 fights. The only way that happens is if you keep winning. Otherwise, you become an opponent. If you're lucky, one more fight this year. He's got to keep staying in the mix, Jai Herbert.
And you've got to be entertaining. That's why I said that to Shauna. Now, fortunately for Jai Herbert, if he's competing, it is entertaining. I mean, that fight that he had with Ilia Topuria almost knocked him out, dropped him with a beautiful head kick. He's got beautiful striking. I've said this many times. He's just kind of like a mini version of Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
And just look at the combinations. He just done loads. But you're right, he has got to get the win. Chris Padilla, though, he's not an easy man to beat. I'm telling you, this guy is good, and there's just an air of confidence about him this week. Last time out, he won via 2 elbows. Elbowed it, he picked it perfectly. Then in the second round, did it again. There it is there. It was just nasty, man. But he timed it. That was the second time he looked for that, and he said that's one of his specialities. So expect to see a lot more elbow attacks from this guy. Beautiful takedowns there as well. No doubt he's going to be looking at that. Jai Herbert being a kickboxer, and of course being English or British, we kind of have this reputation that we can't wrestle. That isn't necessarily true, but on paper, Chris Padilla thinks he's got a really good shot coming in here and upsetting.
Well, he's
the
in
crowd.
good form.
Yeah,
he had 2 fights last year, won them both finishes, 1 submission, 1 knockout. The guy's thinking, I'm fully rounded, I'm fighting out of California, have gloves, will travel. This is a big fight for him as well.
We're in for a good night, aren't we?
Oh, it's going to be unreal.
We're in for a good night, and you're in for a good night as well. I'm sure you've obviously taken in everything that we've been saying about all the fights. I think it's only fair to hear from Tom Aspinall, because on Fight Lab, he's giving you a full breakdown of the main event, of how he thinks that this might play out stylistically.
I'm going to talk about the former champ, our guy, Leon Edwards. Let's get into it.
Go on, boys.
Leon, southpaw. Very, very, very patient with his style, which can work.
Too patient? Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. What we know about Leon is his left head kick is fantastic. That's how he won the title. That's what he's known for. But we're not just going to talk about the left head kick. We're going to talk about how he sets it up and what he uses in terms of his body positioning and to use that. Because what Leon Edwards does really good, for the most part of his fighting, is he stays off the fence and uses the lead hand to make the angle, to set up the leg kick, to set up the body kick, and, of course, the left head kick. But he also uses it this way. Step, boom, boom. Everything, or not everything, but predominantly, he works off that backside from an angle. So we'll watch a bit of Leon's fights. Very dangerous, very patient, which can work against him as well, which we're going to talk about a little bit more as we go on.
One thing that works in Leon's favour, we have seen him up against grapplers before, one stood here, but he's, I think in the third fight in particular, pushed the pace and therefore allowed Leon to do his thing. We've seen him in against Rafael dos Anjos and people like that, where he's looked good when people have pushed the pace on him. If you stand off him, he kind of mimics that, if that makes sense, and therefore the level of activity doesn't go up when it maybe should do.
I think this particular sequence here fits in exactly what you're saying. When the guy is pushing him up against the cage and he's active, Leon's defence and reversals and the way he creates the space between him and his opponent are really good. When he gets a guy like Bilal, who pushes him up against the fence and isn't very active, Leon, in my opinion, gets a little bit too comfortable with not doing a lot. Now, Sean Brady does a lot of pushing up against the fence and not doing a lot, so it'll be interesting to see, look, Kamaru, he's active, he's trying to take him down, he's trying to push him, he's trying to manoeuvre him, which Leon then uses that opportunity now to make his space and fight the lead hand, which is what we've just been talking about. Look, when he's active in the scrambles, Leon's fantastic, Leon's brilliant. It's just when his opponent starts to, like, lull him a little bit and not do a lot, that's when Leon becomes a little bit stagnant himself. Look, he's still active there, he's still trying to battle for position and jockey for position and get off the fence and disengage. Now, this is when Leon gets a bit dangerous, when he's at distance and when he's got his opponent faking and fighting off that lead hand. Leon also, he's down as 6 foot, the guy's at least 6'2". He's really, really tall for a welterweight, he's massive.
Whoa. There it is. There it is.
I mean, that is...
I mean, it's elite technique,
the way he puts the hand out, sees the slip, and comes with the head. Oh, it's just... that's just as brutal
Poetry
as it gets.
in motion,
well.
man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
You being a man that's used to kicking people in the head, you must absolutely love that.
I love that. And he's done so well here. It's just, perfect contact. And the fact that Kamaru leans into it as well.
Because he's like slipping the punch, slipping right into the kick, which is...
iconic.
Wow. There you go, the face of Leon Edwards screaming down a camera. I'm sure a lot of British fight fans want to see that again come Saturday night. But what Tom was actually analysing there and breaking down was very similar to what you guys were saying earlier on about the output. There has to be more from Leon Edwards in this fight if he's going to be successful against Sean Brady.
Without a shadow of a doubt, he's got to remind the world and remind the division and the UFC what he's capable of. You know, he's got to go out there, be aggressive. He's got to have that contender mindset. He's got to do some damage. You know, when you're fighting these wrestlers time after time after time, which he has done, you do start to minimize your output, because every time you throw a shot, you leave an opening for them to, you know, if you throw a right hand, they can come underneath, they can grab your legs, push you up against the fence. He's got to forget about that now. He's got to go forward, put him on the back foot, and we just got to see some aggression. You know, that's what he's got to do.
When I spoke to him earlier in the week, he said one thing to me. He said, I'm going back to the young Leon. And young Leon was aggressive. Young Leon was put it on you, look for finishes, smash you up against the fence and throw heavy kicks and heavy punches. He needs to do that, but it's got to be calculated pressure as well. Because Sean's here, as Mike said earlier, with his own game plan, and he's coming to win also.
Well, it's like what he said in the week. He spent a long period of time chasing records, trying to get an opportunity, not wanting to fall off the horse, fighting not to lose.
Yeah.
And there's a difference in mentality there, isn't there? Fighting not to lose and fighting to win.
Yeah. Listen, he was the champion of the world, making millions of dollars, life-changing stuff, you know, and you get all this attention. You're on posters, you're on TV, you got sponsorship, you got all this stuff. Heavy is the burden, heavy is the crown.
That's right. Heavy is the head that bears the crown.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. There you go. It's nice and early. but it's true, though, you know, and even George St. Pierre, who was the greatest of all time, talked about it. You know, he was the champion for five, 6, 7 title defenses, didn't he? And his style minimised, and there wasn't much output, and people started to complain. It's because you got all of this pressure of being the champion. Well, that's eradicated now, but he's got another type of pressure because he doesn't want to be done. He doesn't want to be a one-time champion. He wants to come back. He wants to take back that belt, and to do that, he's got to go forward, and he's got to get a finish here. He's got to remind the world, remind the division, show Belal Muhammad, yeah, look, listen, you might have beaten me by points, but this is what I'm capable of. Yeah. You finished him, so did I, and you're next.
Yeah.
But he's facing a young, hungry buck in Sean Brady that hasn't been up the mountain yet, and he's on that rise.
Who's never earned the millions of dollars, that is probably still looking at his mortgage payments, who is still concerned about his long-term future. Leon's is secured now. Leon's bought the silk sheets and he's sleeping on them. Sean Brady isn't. So that makes him a completely different animal in terms of his mindset. He is climbing the hill, he is a predator, and he's coming for Leon, and he's coming for that #1 spot. That's what makes it such an interesting fight.
Yesterday at the fighter meetings, Leon kind of was, he was annoyed because some people suggested that Sean Brady is a better grappler than Gunnar Nelson, right? Because he's beaten Gunnar Nelson.
Right.
And he's like, what are you talking about? Gunnar Nelson is a way better grappler than Sean Brady. He's not. Sean Brady is as good as they come. And I think that's because Leon, the reason he got annoyed was he knows this is a tough fight. Stylistically, of course it is. You come off the back of Belal Muhammad, and then you get Sean Brady. It's like, what are you guys doing to me? Yeah. But he has made a career of beating this style, and he did it no better than when he knocked out Kamaru Usman, who is one of the very best to ever do it. But that's what we've got to see. We've got to see that 5-round version of Leon right from the opening bell.
Yeah. Well, you can watch it on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. Let's have a look at that main card to get you all extremely excited. The main event, of course, Leon Edwards taking on Sean Brady, supported by Mike's tip for maybe the fight of the night, with the light heavyweights going at it in Jan Blachowicz and Carlos Ulberg. Gunnar Nelson and Kevin Holland in action as well in the welterweight division. Just coming after Molly McCann and Alexa Tejada. Joanna Vacherik taking on Chris Duncan and Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier. Those first two kicking off that main card. The energy levels in the room is going to be going through the roof. That gets going from 8. Before it, we've got late prelims from 6. And as a special treat this week, because we're on British soil, we're going to bring you the early prelims as well. So you're not going to miss any of the fights from the O2 Arena. It all gets going from 5 p.m. We're all going to go for a sit down now and soak in the energy of the day. Just to let you know, everybody has weighed in, everybody's made weight, bar CLD. Chris, Leroy Duncan. We haven't seen him on the scales as of yet, so we'll update you on our social media as and when he hits the scales behind us. Fingers crossed everything's going to be all right with that. And then we'll have an action-packed blockbuster night coming to you from 5 o'clock on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. We'll catch you next time.
Champions rise above the doubt, noise, and storm. Now, with the nation watching, the pressure is real, and pressure makes diamonds.